Hello and welcome to my show Indus Cuisine, and I'm your chef Basim Akhund. We're back with a new episode from the heart of Pakistan. Today's recipe is very interesting and it's a household favorite, and as I told you, we've done a lot of recipes that have a legit history behind them, but some recipes in Pakistan are known for their lineage towards how the grandmothers used to make them and how they are still a part of our everyday cooking culture. We're going to make a very easy recipe known as Murgh Bhindi. Now you might be thinking, what does this name mean? Because it sounds alien. Murgh basically means chicken and bhindi means okra. Okra is also known as ladyfinger. It's a very easy recipe, the ingredients are very easily available, and I'll just give you a quick rundown of the ingredients. You need some coriander powder, red chili flakes, you need some turmeric powder, and as everyone knows, turmeric is good for your health. It has healing properties, and apart from that, Pakistani food has a lot of turmeric, many dishes do. That's why people over here are much more healthier compared to otherwise. Why? Because our immune system is much more stronger because of the spices. Then you can use some salt, some cumin seeds, some ginger which needs to be super fresh, some garlic which needs to be fresh, some green chilies, yogurt, tomatoes, onions, some green onions, and some okra which needs to be chopped. Apart from that, the meat we're using today is chicken, so we'll be using a kilogram of chicken which will be cut up into pieces. I'm only using the leg and thigh pieces which are chopped up. Okay, now the recipe is super easy. It will be made in two parts, and the first part basically is to bring a pan to heat. So what I'll do is I'll bring the pan to the stove, I'll bring it to heat, and when it's piping hot, then I shall continue. Apart from that, we need a green chopping board. It's at the back. I shall just pick it up and keep it in the front. Always remember to keep your chopping board super fresh and super clean. Why? Because you need to basically be very close to the rules of hygienic cooking. Okay, so now this is done. What I'll do is basically I shall just take the okra which is over here, and apart from that, I'll take a piece of garlic. I'll keep it over here, and I shall just slice it, but it's a little thick as compared to otherwise. Now the reason behind that is that this garlic will be fried with the okra. This recipe, as I told you, will be made in two parts. Why? Because that is how you will get the best flavor out of the recipe. So the ginger and garlic are almost thick but not too thin. Also, I'll use half a cup of oil which I shall transfer over here, and the oil will eventually come to heat. Why? Because the pan was super hot. Apart from that, what I'll do is I'll take two green chilies, also full size, full length, and I shall just take the top part, the stems out of the green chili, and that's about it. Apart from that, what I'll do is I shall just cut the green chili from the center into half, just like this. You don't need to be super precise. Just open the green chili into two pieces. Why? Because you will fry the green chilies also. So now what I'll do is I shall just add the green chilies to the oil, and the heat needs to be super high as I told you, and I'll add also the ginger and garlic which were just chopped up and which go in the pan over here. As you can see, the sizzling sound comes back on, which means that the oil is super hot and ready to be continued forward. I shall just keep these stems on the side for now, and as you can see and also know that I've just chopped the okra. It's very simple. Everyone knows that. You just have to take the top part out and just cut it into three pieces each. Now I shall just transfer all the okra into this, and you don't need this basket anymore, it goes at the back. Apart from that, what I'll do is I'll just take a pinch of salt and cover it up. This is done. Now just pick this up and flatten the okra out, keeping the green chilies also around. Why? Because you want the pieces of the okra to be fried individually. I'm shallow frying them, they're not deep fried. Now till the time this is cooking, what I'll do is I shall just take it to the other side. And remember one thing, you will not keep a lid on it. If you keep a lid on it, what will happen is that the lid will start capturing the moisture and the okra will get soggy. Remember, don't make it soggy. Okay, reduce the heat to medium and let it fry slowly and gradually. Now what I'll do is I shall begin with the cooking of the recipe. For that, what I need is I need a wok which I shall bring to heat, and I'll keep it over here. Increase the heat to full, and now add some oil. Now the pan will eventually come to heat, the wok basically, and I'll be adding only half cup of oil which I had left over there. This recipe is a little oil oriented, but this recipe is being cooked for at least 5 to 6 people, so which means your share will have really less oil. Okay, when this is done, what I'll do is now we should start cooking for the recipe. We need 2 medium onions which I shall slice. I'll take the root off first in front of you. Why? Because the root basically holds the onion together. Keep this on the side and just cut the onion into half. Slice it. Turn around and go super close and super slow. Why? Because that will take you a long way, not otherwise. Slow and steady will take you a long way whenever it comes to vegetable cutting. The cuts are very important. That's what you are taught when you're in the culinary school or the culinary field. Remember that. Just keep going slowly and you will attain the best cut possible. This is done. Now what I'll do is I shall fry the onions until they are translucent. So I'll keep all the things I don't need on the side. Now I'll pick the onion up and transfer them to the oil. This is done. Now what I'll do is I shall just pick up 1 pinch of salt, shake the onion up, and now place a lid on top of it. This is being fried. On the other hand, just mix the okra up, and when it gets a nice light brown color, you will stop cooking it further, but you have to keep moving it every 2 minutes. So now the onion is cooking. What I'll do is I'll just clean up and then I'll let you know what to do next. So as you can see, the okra is nicely light brown. It's a little crispy towards the outside. I'll just reduce the heat to completely 0. On the other hand, the onions are also translucent and have a very nice light brown color, which I also needed. But as you can see, not all of them, only a few which were towards the outer layer. Apart from that, what I'll do now is I shall just pick up 2 pieces of garlic for now, and I shall just smash them in front of you just like this, and we shall finally chop them. So go super slow, super quick. Keep your knife sharp and at a proper angle. When this is done, clean the blade, pick it up and transfer all of the garlic in the oil with the onions. Okay, this is done. Now what I'll do is I shall pick up a piece of green chili for now, because remember, if you fry the green chili, the taste will be different. If you put it later on, the flavor will be different. So we shall just finely chop the green chili, push it forward. And this is done. Bring it together, bring it close, transfer all of this over here, and now start mixing it up. Increase the heat and cook it for a minute on high heat. It's time to go for a break now. We'll just go for a short break, and once we're back from the break, I'll let you know what to do. It's super easy. I've done 2 things right now. The first thing is basically fried the okra on the side with some garlic and ginger, and the other thing is basically I've done the onions on one side. So we'll go for a short break, and once we're back, I'll let you know what to do. Don't go anywhere. There's a lot to be done. Keep watching Indus Cuisine. So as you can see, both the things are done. Now what I'll do is basically I'll cook this recipe in a pan. So what I'll do, I'll bring the okra over here and I'll transfer everything over here. Now what I need to do is increase the heat to full, bring the pan to heat, and first of all pick up 3 pieces of tomato. What I'll do is I'll keep the tomatoes on the side, but I shall take the eye and take it on the side. Super close, super easy, and step by step. Now just cut the tomato from the center and make it into 4 halves. It's in front of you. If you go step by step, you'll go a long way. And we shall also be putting all of these tomatoes in the food processor. Why? Because I want the perfect texture. If you can see, the okra is nicely crispy. That's what you want. It should be partially crispy. It doesn't need to feel like you're having potato chips or crisps. Why? Because it's a vegetable. You need that light, soft and crispy texture when you fry it. Okay, now keep this on the side and process it until it's converted into a fine paste. And as you can see, this is done. Now what I'll do is I shall just pick this up and transfer all the tomatoes into the okra. This is done. Now we need that oil. Why? Because it has all the flavor. Keep this at the back. We shall wash it later on. But now what's the next step? You need to add around half a teaspoon of salt. You need the flavor to be enhanced in this recipe, remember that. And then some red chilies. The red chilies go in. The red chilies are basically in the flakes form. We'll start mixing it to give it a nice kick. Sauce is basically piping now. That is what we need with this recipe. Now what I'll do is I'll pick up a spatula. I'll start transferring all the onions into this with all the oil over here. It goes in, brings out the flavor, brings out the oomph factor in the food, remember that. Okay, now start mixing it again. You want the onions to be folded properly and nicely. And this is done. Now what I'll do next is I shall just add a few ingredients in the recipe. First of all, what do you need? You need some cumin seeds, spread them out. And you need the coriander powder to go in. All goes in one go, and then the turmeric powder. I've added everything, whatever you've used goes at the back, you don't need it anymore. And now start mixing it. I haven't added any water right now because I want all the spices to be cooked in the tomato and the onion and the gravy which is being made right now. There will be water, but later on, not right now, immediately. It's mixed properly and nicely. What I'll do now is I shall just give it a lid and let it cook for a minute at least. Okay, so till then this is cooking, what we'll do is we shall now start using some of the other ingredients. What I'll basically first do is I'll pick up the same jug. Now the reason behind that is there's a lot of tomato inside. Reserve things, preserve things and use them wisely. Why? Because the Mother Nature needs to be protected from all the extra usage we're doing. We're a consumer society, we're a world where consumerism is expanding, and that's the reason why the resources are being used too much. Okay, now what I'll do is I shall just keep this over here. Everything is clean in front of you. I am going to pick up 3 pieces of garlic, keep them over here, and now just crush them like this. This is done. Now pick up the crushed garlic, transfer it to the wok over here. Take the yogurt which is fresh. Take the spatula, try sourcing as much as you can and do not waste anything. Keep this on the side. This goes at the back. And now what I'll do is I shall just pick up some ginger which goes over here. Keep it over here. Now take at least a tablespoon equivalent. Slice it like this. And now add it to the jug. Everything goes in, the onion is in, everything is in. Now you need 2 green chilies. I'll just take the stem out from the top, place it over here, and now put the jug over here and process it until it's converted into a super fine paste with a cup of water. As I told you, the water will go, but not right now, over here only. So now process it into a fine paste. And now look over here. The oil is seeping out. And now take this off. It goes off, comes on the side, and add everything over here. The beauty of cooking is always remember when the ingredient goes in after what ingredient. That is how the flavor is enhanced. Now slowly and gradually mix all of the sauce which was dried into this. And always keep your station clean. At times a little bit does fall out, it's nature, but clean as you go, as I've told you always. And keep your counter also clean. A clean counter teaches you a lot of discipline, and your food will always taste really, really good. Now I've kept this over here, you don't need the board anymore. Now what I'll do is I shall just bring the red chopping board. The red chopping board goes here, and as you can see, there is chicken over here. The chicken comes out, it needs to be washed properly, which it is already. And now I'll pick up my paring knife, which I haven't used till now. What I'll do is I shall now add cuts to the chicken so that it is cooked till the core when I cook it in the heat. So there is bone, make the cut till the bone so that it feels and it tastes good, and the texture is always perfect. In front of you, I'm going slowly and gradually. Slowly and gradually will take you a long way, remember that. And always make cuts whenever you're using thigh and leg pieces, because you need the perfect flavor and you need the chicken to be cooked properly. Now as you can see, there's a lot of sauce in this. Now I shall just add everything over here. Now just submerge it properly and do not give it a lid. Let this cook on low heat for at least 15 minutes. So till the time this is cooking, we shall just clean up, and then I'll show you the final look of the recipe. Don't go anywhere, keep watching Indus Cuisine. So I've given this 5 minutes. Now what I'll do is, when you see the chicken turning into white, chop the green onions. Go super fine and super close. Keep it equal, remember that. This is done. You won't use the bulbs, keep it on the side. And transfer all of this into this, and now cook it for another 12 minutes. So till the time this is cooking, we'll just clean up again and then show you the final result of the recipe. Don't go anywhere, keep watching Indus Cuisine. So as you can see, today's recipe is ready. I just cooked for 6 people and I've served only for a single person. I hope you liked today's episode. I'll see you in the episode of Indus Cuisine. Take care of yourself, lovely people. Have a wonderful day and a weekend. Bye-bye.